everyone, Aaron here for Zollotech, and today Apple released iOS 13.3 Developer Beta 3. This came in at 188.8 megabytes on my iPhone 11 Pro Max, and previous to this I was using Beta 2, so we'll talk about that in just a moment, but this update should be somewhere around 188 megabytes depending on which device you're on. Now, the public beta, if you're waiting for that, expect that either later today or probably by the time you're watching this video. If you don't see it by that time, expect it the following day. Now let's go ahead and take a look at the build number. The build number is 17C5046A, and A was there last time, so I thought we were closer to a final build, but it looks like we still may be getting closer and closer. So the public release may be just a week away. We're not really sure at this point, but it could be. This build is actually 8 builds newer than the previous build, so they've definitely been doing some work. Now, as far as any changes or updates, there isn't really anything mentioned in the notes. Apple has been very sparse on their notes lately, so we don't know of anything specific that's new that they've patched or anything like that. But since we're 8 builds newer, there's definitely some fixes here. Now, alongside this update, Apple also released updates for Catalina as far as betas are concerned, WatchOS, and AppleTV. They all have new beta software, so if you want to try that out, you can try it out on your watch with WatchOS 6 or on an Apple TV if you'd like to, or Catalina if you'd like to. Now, this particular update also released some new modem updates, but only for specific phones. So it seems like the newer phones, iPhone 11, 11 Pro, and 11 Pro Max have updates, as well as the iPhone 6S Plus or 6S, and also the iPhone 8 and 8 Plus and iPhone 10. They all get modem updates. All of the phones in between did not get a modem update, so I don't know if that just means they found a few more bugs and tweaked them here and there, but for now, those are the devices that are updated. I haven't seen anything different other than that. Now, Apple also released new cases today, a couple new case colors for the iPhones, along with battery cases. So if you want incredible battery life beyond what you're getting with an 11, 11 Pro, or 11 Pro Max, you should be able to get a battery case or some new cases as well. And if you'd like me to do a video about those new cases, let me know in the comments below. Sometimes I cover them, sometimes I don't. Now, as far as anything new or changed, well, we haven't seen anything. There's no notes as far as what's changed with features. I've not found anything as far as features on any of these devices, and there's really nothing noted. So that's kind of odd, but hopefully they've continued to fix issues with the cellular connectivity issues I was having. In fact, let me test it real quick. I'll just jump off of Wi-Fi, and let's see if we can open YouTube and see if we have a cellular data connection. And it looks like it worked. So it looks like that's fixed. Usually it wouldn't work before. On Beta 2, it was a little bit spotty. And then also all of the fixes that come with iOS 13.2.3 that was released the other day, as far as mail and things like that, should already be implemented into this update. So hopefully you're not having any issues with mail or any of those problems. Now, as far as performance, well, performance has been okay in the hour or so I've been using it. I have had no issues. I've had no lockups and no freezes, even with Beta 2. So things like haptic touch, or on a 6S Plus, for example, 3D touch is working okay. If you go in here, it's nice and fast, which is great. And I don't know if they've improved speed with that, but it's definitely nice and fast. You still don't get the pop where you can push and then let go a little bit, where it goes back. Maybe you do. It looks like 3D touch may be a little bit better now. So if you see that, you'll see if you just barely touch it, it goes back. So maybe they've actually improved 3D touch with this one. It's hard to say, but it looks like maybe they've done something like that. Now, as far as performance goes, I did try Minecraft on the older devices I have here. I have an iPad Air 2, an SE, and this 6S Plus. And every time I go into Minecraft, it has to reload. But these devices have less RAM. So I'm not sure if RAM management is better or anything like that. But it seems to load and resume very fast, and unfortunately I'm in the night mode here, or at night. Let's go over to the SE, and we'll see it resume. It may take a moment here. And we're in. So it's in nice and fast. Frame rates seem to be good, although this is not an incredibly taxing game, but it does work pretty well. But overall performance is great. Now, as far as iOS 13.3 Beta 2, the battery life was not so great for me. In fact, let me show you the battery. Battery health is 100% on my iPhone 11 Pro Max, but over the past 10 days, I had 3 hours of screen on time and about 50% usage. So normally I should be getting around 10 to 12 hours of screen on time with this device, and I'm just not seeing that. And hopefully with beta 3, it will be better. With beta 2, it was not good at all for me on this device. So I'm curious how it is for you, but it will take a few days to measure battery life. You can't really measure it from, say, 100 down to 80% and see what that is and do the math on it because it's different. That's not really how the iPhone uses battery. You actually have to measure it within a 24 to 48 hour period to get a really accurate number. So it's going to take a little while to measure that. But in general, it's okay. It's not great. Hopefully it's better for you, but I've been hearing it hasn't been great for some people as well. Now, for those of you that are interested, let's take a look at the Geekbench scores. We'll go over here to Geekbench 5, and Geekbench is actually pretty good. I did run this not too long after I installed it, so these numbers could go up a little bit. But for the single core, I scored 1,335. For multi-core, I scored 3,429. Now, if we take a look at the history, let's see if we can find today. There we go. Today, you'll see here's November 12th. So it's a little bit higher in general, but 100 or so higher. We may or may not see a difference with normal usage, but it's right around that same number. Now, let me lay all of these out so you can take a look and compare yours yourself. So from left to right, I have the iPad Air 2, then I have the iPhone SE, then the iPhone 6s Plus, and then the iPhone 11 Pro Max. So these scores should give you a general idea of how the beta should be for you, depending on the actual overall benchmarks. It doesn't necessarily mean your phone will perform better or slower, depending on what you get. It just should give you a general idea of what it should be performing at. Now, as far as iPadOS is concerned, don't expect anything new. In fact, iPadOS is more of a marketing term than an actual change to the OS in general. So you've got the different things such as split view and things like that, but you really don't have any changes overall. But performance has been fine on it, especially this is one of the older devices that supports iOS 13 or iPadOS 13, and it's been fine, but don't expect anything new with this particular update. That's it for iOS 13.3 Beta 3. Now, it's hard to say when they're going to release this. I'm not sure if we're going to see any updates next week because next week is a holiday week. So if we do see them, we'll see them at the beginning of the week. We have Thanksgiving here in the United States, so I'm not sure we'll see anything next week, but maybe we'll see a final release the first week of December. It's hard to say for sure at this point, but whether or not this update is to help support things like that battery case, or that was the previous iOS release, it's hard to say. I think it's been in there for a while, but I wouldn't expect anything next week per se, maybe a beta update, but let me know your thoughts about that in the comments below. Of course, I'll link this wallpaper in the description as I always do, and if you haven't subscribed already, please subscribe, and if you enjoyed the video, please give it a like. As always, thanks for watching. This is Aaron. I'll see you next time.